Hi, in this video I'm going to share 5 steps to getting comfortable with being seen. Now this has been a huge thing for me, working on overcoming the fear of getting seen. So I feel like perhaps I'm somewhat of an expert, but you can judge that for yourselves later. So it all stems from how we feel about ourselves, doesn't it? So how do you feel about you? And our relationship with ourselves is the single most important relationship that we'll ever have. And in fact, obviously, the only one that will last our entire lifetime. So I can't think of many things that are more important than that. So, what are the 5 keys or the 5 steps that I'm about to share here? I'll tell you what they are up front, and then I'll go into some more, expand on each of them as we go through. So number 1, spend time with yourself. Number 2, reflect on your strengths. Number 3, look at yourself. Number 4 builds on number 3 and probably fills most people with trepidation, or it certainly did me initially, and that was video yourself. And number 5, consider your purpose or your passions, or both. So let's dive in a bit deeper. So number 1, spend time with yourself. Now what I mean by that is taking that time, allocating time just for you, where you sit with yourself. Like there's no distractions. You make sure that nobody can interrupt you. You're not sitting down to watch TV or do an activity. You're sitting down just with you in a quiet space, getting still, and just becoming okay with that. Notice what comes up about what you should or shouldn't be doing, or feeling like you need to fill that space with something. But actually genuinely, truly sit with yourself and just start to pay attention more to your own body. Get comfortable with being with yourself. And perhaps notice different feelings that you might have in your body, perhaps a little bit of discomfort, so you might want to adjust yourself so it feels more comfortable. But in that stillness, start to feel more into the different parts of your body. And perhaps even when you get really quiet, it's almost like you can feel a vibration in your cells, that kind of thing, and start to feel that aliveness, that magnificence that is a human being, that is you, that is very much alive and aware of itself. And start to look at perhaps parts of your body. Your hand is a perfect one. Just really look at your hand and just move. Notice the movements and what is involved in your hand's ability to move, and each of the fingers within that, and all the things that your hands do. And that's just one part of your body. Your body's obviously made up of multiple parts and organs and things that all fill a magnificent, or play a magnificent role in your life. So really start to just, spend time with yourself and get comfortable with being with you. Some ideas to do that. Number 2, reflect on your strengths. Now there's 2 aspects to this. So firstly, think about for yourself, what are your strengths? So perhaps reflect on situations or challenges perhaps that you've overcome, and what it's taken from you or evoked within you to be able to deal with that. And what are the things you're really good at? You know, what would other, what, and also not just thinking about yourself, what you feel your strengths are, but then reflect on other people's perception of your strengths. So people closest to you, your friends, or it could be a stranger that you've interacted with that was a really positive exchange of communication, and you know they left feeling good. What would they say your strength was? Or strengths, not just singular, obviously multiple. So what do you feel that your strengths are? And you will have demonstrated, you know, a calmness, a determination, a real focus, an ability to get things done, perhaps, whatever it is. Just make a list. Make a list of what you perceive your strengths to be, and what other people may perceive your strengths to be. And that's just a really powerful thing to help you build on your relationship with you, because that all ties in with you being comfortable with being seen. The better you feel about you and your strengths, the more valuable you'll feel, and that will help you when in terms of being comfortable with being seen. So that's number 2. Number 3, look at yourself. And what do I mean by that? I mean, go and stand in front of a mirror and look at yourself, perhaps like you've not done before. And I mean, look into your eyes. So you're not looking to notice if you've got a bit of makeup out of place, or to see if you've got a wrinkle here or that's got worse or whatever. It's not about observing or paying attention to anything in your, apart from looking into your eyes. Directly look into your eyes and tell yourself, I love you. So look at yourself perhaps like you've never looked at yourself before, and almost like you just, and spend time in that moment looking into your eyes, but almost like you want to look into your own soul, and really start to observe and consider who you are and how you feel about yourself there. But remind yourself to, I love you. Tell yourself, I love you. And just realise the power of that. And perhaps emotions may come up in that time. And I invite you, if that occurs, to just allow them and keep reminding yourself, I love you. I love you. It's incredibly powerful. This won't be the first time you've ever heard that, but if this was the only thing that you did of these, if this was the only one of the steps that you took of the 5 that I'm mentioning, this, I believe, would be the most important. Number 4, video yourself. So building on the looking at yourself, then it's videoing yourself. And watch it back, or get somebody else to take a video of you, of course. It doesn't have to be you videoing yourself. And watch it back. And listen to the sound of your voice. How does it feel hearing your voice? Now, I really struggled the first time I heard the sound of my voice. I was like, really? Do I really sound like that? Did I really say that? And was quite uncomfortable with it. But over time, I've become more comfortable with it just by doing it and embracing it and remembering to accept myself. And notice how you might be critical of how you look. I mean, that's when I first noticed how wonky my face, I knew that my face is not the same on both sides, as a lot of people's isn't, but mine seemed to be so accentuated when I first saw it on video. So I was quite uncomfortable about that, plus many other imperfections. But being able to laugh at it as well is really powerful, and that's really helped me, just laughing at myself and think, oh my gosh, did I really make that expression? And just laughing at it all is really, or can be really helpful. So I found that just doing it more often has helped me become more comfortable with it, but also noticing what I'm saying to myself and maybe changing that. So where I'm being critical, think about, okay, how about fully accepting myself? How does that feel? This is me. Maybe it's okay. Can I be okay with that? What could I say to myself that would help me feel better? Could I encourage myself and say, actually, well done for taking a step towards really getting more comfortable with being seen? If that's all it is, I'm taking a step towards overcoming a fear. So really acknowledge yourself in whatever way you can, but really reflect on your thoughts, your feelings, and reframing those thoughts so they're more supportive of you. Because this is all about building a relationship with ourselves, and it'll help us. Well, it's all perfect steps to being comfortable with being seen. And number 5, your purpose. Consider your purpose or your passions. It doesn't need to be a huge service to the world, but what are you passionate about? What lights you up? Because when you share about that, and your reason for sharing is bigger than your concerns about how you're seen, then that helps you naturally overcome the fear of being seen, because you've got a message that you want to get across. You've got something that you want to say. So if that passion and purpose is bigger than the fear, then perhaps even where does the fear go? And you'll know there'll be times when you've shared something, and it doesn't have to be on YouTube, potentially with thousands of viewers. It could be in a group of people, a small group of people, when you've had something that you've really felt that you've wanted to share and get across, and in that moment you haven't given a thought to what you've looked like or how you've sounded, because it was so important for you to share whatever that was. So I hope these steps are helpful. They're obviously not the only steps. I'd love to hear what other steps that you have taken or you think might be useful to take to help people get comfortable, or yourself get comfortable with being seen. I'd love to know how you feel about you, and perhaps things that you've noticed that you're saying to yourself, and that perhaps you could reframe them, and what those reframes might be that might be more supportive to you. If you've enjoyed this video, if you found anything useful, I'd be delighted if you like or comment, share, subscribe, whatever you feel drawn to do. Because everything I think that I'm about stems from this getting comfortable with being seen, being real, being authentic, being you. And if that inspires other people, it inspires you to share more of yourself, then brilliant. I'm 100% down with that. Thank you.